Axopar 28. It's a Brabstein version with twin engines. Today I'm gonna give you like 15-20 minutes, small introduction, so when you first step on board, you feel comfortable and you know where everything is. So when first stepping on board, we need to do some major things to get the boat powered up. First step for you is to unplug the shore power. The hose, close the lid. And we're going to put the shore power back on land. So first steps when you step on board of the Axopar 28 is you want to disconnect the shore power, which we already have done. So we took the cable off and we put it on land. As a second step, we want to power up the whole boat. For this we open the aft cabin, and in here we have 3 disconnectors which we all turn around so we see them all on. And now the batteries are connected to the whole system. When we go back to the helm station and we find the 2 keys, put the keys in the ignition, 1 for each engine, and we can put them in the on position. Now, by the press of the button, we can bring the 2 engines at the same time down. So how do we know when they're all the way down? We just keep pressing, and once they're all the way down, they're going to change noise and they're going to stop. There's nothing for you to do wrong. Now the displays are starting up, and we can go and check if the system says it's all okay on the displays. If there would be anything wrong, the displays would show it here in the main displays. So first system to explain is the anchor. We have an electric windlass in the front. To open the anchor compartment, you just turn the lock, and then we have here the anchor remote. It's pretty easy. You have 2 buttons, one says down, one says up. Before we can lower down the anchor, we have 2 safeties. One is a chain lock, so we just undo this one, and the second one prevents the anchor from falling off when doing high speed. So we open this one as well, and now the anchor is ready to go down. Pressing down brings the anchor down, pressing up brings the anchor up. The last few meters, just go step by step till the anchor is all the way up. Put the handle, remote back in, and very important, before you start going again, just put the 2 safeties back in place. So next to see is the toilet on the Axopar 28. The toilet compartment is in front of the cockpit, and when you go in, on your left hand side you have 2 buttons. It's an electric toilet, so it's always important to first fill the toilet bowl with some water. As you see, water's coming in now. Then you do whatever you want to do, and then you flush everything out. Once you're finished, you fill it back up with some water. Important here in the electric toilet, we call it the 3 P's, pee, poo, paper. Nothing else goes into the toilet. When you use the electric toilet, or any toilet on the boat, you want to empty out the holding tank. All the shit goes into the holding tank. To empty the holding tank, you have a button here where it says macerator. You press this button for a minute to empty the tank out and get everything out in the water. Don't do this in the harbors and don't do this in the bays. The law says you have to be 3 miles offshore to empty the tank. On the Axopar 28 we have a fresh water tank to shower you after swimming. On your port side in the back you have the freshwater shower. It's a twist head, so to start the water coming, you just twist the head, the water comes, shut it off, you twist again, and you put it back into its position. If there's no more water in the tank, the pump will shut off. To restart the pump, you press the button where it says fresh water. So you disengage it and you engage it again to have fresh water. So now in the bow area of the boat, we have the L sofa set up. And what I'm gonna put now and show is first the table, and then we're gonna turn the table into a sunbed. And as the third step, we're gonna put the shades up to make shade over your sunbed area. So all what you need is stored inside of the sofa. First thing we're getting out is the shade. Then we have the sunbed. And here as well we have the legs for the table. Together with the legs for the sunbed. And the table is set. In order to set up the table, you have the table legs and you put them with this T section into the feet and then turn them clockwise in order to fix them. Put the table on top, around, and you have a table where you can sit with 4 people. If you decide you want to have a sunbed, you want to remove the table, remove the legs, and change for the short legs, same system here. Put the table again. And now we have the sunbed cushion, which one part goes on top of the table and the other one puts or bridges the gap. Now we want to put some shade. To put the shade we need the 2 poles, which are stored in here. You put the 2 poles on either side. You connect the sunshade to the T-top roof. And then the other side through the poles. Tighten up firmly. And you're in a shaded area. Important, this sunshade is for stationary use only. So when you're going faster than 3 knots or you get a lot of wind, just take it away. So on this Axopar 28 we have 2 fridges. One is underneath the co-driver seat, where you just open the 2 latches and then it's an active cooled fridge, which holds some more drinks. And we have an ice box, which is on the port side. So this aft storage is insulated, so you can put ice here. It has a drain on the bottom, so when you put drinks and ice, the water just drains out. You have cold drinks for the rest of the day. Good. Most important for a good day is, apart from the nice boat, to have some music on board. On the Axopar 28 we have the upgraded stereo system. Means we have 4 speakers inside here. We have another 4 speakers outside and like a subwoofer. To connect, you can either connect with a Bluetooth device directly to the Fusion system, or you could use a cable like an aux jack. To connect with your Bluetooth, first you select Bluetooth from the system, which is BT, and then it says select device. In order to be able to connect to your phone, you first have to go pushing the settings key and then go down and tick the box where it says discoverable. If it's not discoverable, your phone won't find the Bluetooth. So now you go into settings of your phone, you go into Bluetooth, and now we're looking for a new device which just pops up here, and the device is called Axopar 28 Tina, or Tina 28. You click it, and now we're already connected, so we can go into any of our devices and start playing music from here. So now we arrived at the display, at the main cockpit. I would like to explain you the main functionalities here. Of course, having the stereo, then we have VHF radio, which you should only use if you have radio certificate. Right up this we have a bow thruster system. So in order to put the bow thruster on, you press two buttons on and the bow thruster goes on. It stays on for around 2 minutes and before it goes off again. On the top here we have the different lights: navigation light, anchor light, interior deck and underwater lights. And to your right we have searchlight, the window wiper, the bilge pumps and the panel lights. Above of this we have the main navigation display. The most important functionalities for us is the speed. Underneath we have the water depth, and here the water depth says 1,90 m, 2 meters, which is the actual depth of the water. From here we have to subtract that we need 1 meter for this boat to keep floating. Time of the day, water temperature, fuel economy, and we have the fuel level, so we see the tank is completely full. The whole thing is a touch screen, so in order to change the chart, it's really a touch like you used from your phone. Let's say we would like to go to the harbor of Portals. We can just mark the position we want to go, and on the very top we have a button that says auto guidance, and now the system creates us a route, guiding us through the area and giving us an estimated arrival time at your mark. We could talk about this system for another 2 hours. One other important thing I would like to show you is down here in waypoints. We have a list of waypoints people have created, and there's one waypoint called home. So if you're lost somewhere, go into waypoints, search for home, and then you say navigate to auto guidance, and this will bring you always back to the harbor where you just started. When you press start navigation, it will actually bring you to where we are. We are in the same harbor, so the path is very short, but it would bring you from everywhere back. On the right of this, we have the engine control display. Here we see all the functionalities of the engine. Same again, you have the fuel tank. We have 300 liters of fuel. Now it says 282, so the tank is completely full. We have the engine hours for each engine, and we have the fuel consumption, what each engine used over the season. Again, we have the speed. We can tap here, we see the fuel a bit more exactly, and for each engine left and right we have the rounds per minute and we have the voltage of the batteries. There's never the danger of draining the batteries, because we have a different set for batteries for the starboard, for the port engine, and for all the systems like music, fresh water pump, so you can always be sure that you'll be able to start the engine. Looking at the helm, when you want to find a comfy position, you can adjust the steering wheel in its height. Right of this we have the engine control, so here you control your gears and your power. I put it into full gas just to explain you a bit better now the functionalities you see here on the display, on the handle. We have a green light which has to be on, then we in neutral. If this not N, the N is not lit up, then we're not in neutral. We can trim up each engine individually, so in case you lose one engine to failure, you can trim it out of the water and you can still keep planning. This boat has an active trim, so you don't have to worry about trimming engines individually up and down. The boat does it automatically. All these buttons down here we don't really need. It just says that the boat is synchronized with the engines. We could put one lever, so we have both engines control in one, And another interesting functionality is the dock button. If we press dock, the power is reduced to 20%, and that helps us in the harbor not to crash into any walls. So before we go out, I would like to show you all the safety stuff we have on board. So in the aft cabin, if you just look in, you see on your left hand side you see life vests, on your right hand side you see more life vests. Then you have like a blue box. This blue box is full of all the safety equipment, same as this bag here on your left, where you have the first aid kit, you have flares, you have a lot of things. Keep it in there. If someone asks for it, just show to them. It's a expensive piece of equipment, so we don't want to take it out and start playing with it. So on board we have a boat hook in order for you to pick up the lines. We have 4 fenders, 2 on each side, and here in the starboard locker we have 2 ropes. If you go into another harbor, you have to tie yourself up to something. They're stored in the starboard locker on the aft. The way we connect it here in the harbor is we have 2 ground lines, 2 mooring lines, which are in the aft of the boat, and we have 2 lines in the front. When we go out, we just drop all these 4 lines in the water and we start reversing out. We're going to do the process once we're ready, and I show you which line goes first and which line goes second. Cool, I think you should be familiar with the main systems now on the boat. Last step for us is to take the boat off the mooring now and go to see how you're driving out of this a bit like tight spot. And before we do this, let me go through some important stuff. This is a non-smoking boat, strictly non-smoking. Smoking causes like just damages to all the cushions and everything. So if you're on board, please don't smoke. It's a very like visual boat, so it's blue, so everybody sees you. So I don't want you to feel observed or something, but people send us a lot of pictures saying, look, your boat was here in the harbor, so they're very happy to see you. Behave accordingly. It means we not speed in the harbors. There's a maximum speed of 3 knots when you're in the harbor. If you're entering a bay, take your speed off before you're entering the bay, so in order to not make waves to the other boats. Before you go out, make sure you have your charter contract, which is filled and signed. Check the fuel tank should always be full before you go out, because when you're coming back, you're filling it back up to full again. If you have any other questions, get in touch with us. So we have always people here on the dock, be it Julian, be it me, and someone's always here to answer your questions. And as well, you have our telephone numbers, so in case you're out and you're still missing something, you don't know how much anchor chain to drop, or you don't find the right button for the stereo, give us a call, send us a WhatsApp. It's easiest just to take a picture, send us the pictures, and you're going to get the response very fast. That's it from my side. Last thing, we're going to start the engines and get the boat out of the mooring. So, starting the engines. And now for me, it's important, if I lose the back lines first, the boat has the tendency to go forward and touch the wall. So I do it the other way around. I start with the lines in the front, because then the boat starts reversing out already. I drop the 2 lines in the back, and I'm ready to take the boat out. Now come the 2 lines in the back. Here we do one trick. In order to not drop it, I just put it on the neighbor. If the neighbor goes out, you're going to drop both lines. But when we're coming back before he goes out, for us it's easier to pick this line back up. Last line here. Same here, I just put it over the collar. And you see the boat pretty much stays on its spot, so there's no stress. I have all the time in the world. And now a bit of skipper training. It's easiest if you look at your two engines. We put these two lines here in the middle. The engine always pulls in the direction of the blue line. So in order to not to go too fast, you just use one engine. I put the engine in gear. I switch on my side power, and then I pull the boat out. And with the bow thruster, I can control the front of the boat, but it's not really needed. When going out, as you see, it's a very tight space. You have lines coming in, you have other boats. If you're not too familiar, what we just prefer you to do, go straight out all the way, reversing till you're in the main water, and then you can start turning and going and have a good day on the boat. Thank you very much. I hope that explains everything. We have very good days on the boat. If you have any more feedback, just give us a call, drop us a message, and hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you very much.